Yo, what's up guys? Kevin here. In this video, I want to talk to you guys about snowboard accessories. There's a lot out there, and recently being back into snowboarding, I find myself just using a lot more things for snowboarding. And so I wanted to share with you guys all those things, just in case you're missing out on one of these things. Maybe it could help you with your snowboard season. I know in snowboarding, there's a lot to bring together, your gear list. And for me, I've been doing this for a while, so I've managed to put together a pretty solid list of accessories. So I'm gonna share that with you guys, and then at the end, gonna also answer some of your questions. So if you guys have any questions about any of this gear, you can hit me up at the end of this. And yeah, I'm gonna try to go through 10. Maybe you guys can let me know. I'm not going to keep count, but I think I have about 10 things that I want to share with you guys. And they're not like the typical snowboard accessories. I think some are, but others are kind of things that I use for snowboarding that maybe are not like the most common snowboard accessories. So I hope the stream is working out. I can see that there's over 100 people already on the chat. Thanks for coming to hang out, guys. If you get the chance, give this video a like, subscribe, and yeah, just really stoked to talk to you guys. And I hope you guys are getting a good start to your snowboard season. So let's kick it off. I'm gonna throw you guys maybe for an odd snowboard accessory. But one thing that I use every day is my foam roller. So at night, usually when I get back from snowboarding, or maybe before I go to bed, I always use a foam roller. And for a day of riding, it doesn't matter how old you are, if you're like, 10 years old or if you're 60 years old, I think rolling out your legs and your back and like just different things with the foam roller helps you to get back into snowboarding for the next day. Because everyone gets aches and pains sometimes, and a foam roller has been huge. It's really helped me. I don't know if anyone out there uses a foam roller. Maybe let us know what your experience is. But this is like a must for me. I probably wouldn't be snowboarding without it. Okay, so let's see. I've got a whole pile of stuff, so I'm gonna grab some stuff randomly. Some things I may not actually talk about, but let's get into the next one. I grabbed this randomly because sometimes I forget this. And when I forget it, I'm always in trouble. But a snowboard belt. So I know some people ride with the belt, but some people don't. And the days that I forget my snowboard belt, that's when my pants like start to fall down. So because snowboard pants are usually worn a bit bigger and more baggy. And this one, I think the brand is called Arcade. But yeah, it's got like a lot of stretch to it as well. And it's a really comfortable material. So as I'm riding, it's not like a bulky or a belt that kind of cuts into my skin. It's a pretty elasticy, comfortable belt. So I don't know if you guys ever have that issue. I know a lot of the snowboard pants, there's like a way to tighten the pants without a belt. But for me, I find that riding and having a belt, especially if your gear starts to get wet throughout the day and starts to sag, then your pants can start to sag down. So I always find a belt helps with that. One thing I kind of forgot to mention in my snowboard gear list this year, and something I wore today and was really happy that I had was my snowboard mid-layer jacket. So this mid-layer jacket, I'm not even sure if they make it anymore, but it's a Burton. I can't remember the model, but it's a Burton mid-layer, and it's got like synthetic down material, and it's just like awesome for wearing under your jacket, because my jacket's a shell, and wearing this under my jacket helps to keep me really warm. So this one, the style is pretty ordinary and plain, and I've had it for like 2 or 3 years now. But yeah, and there's a few little rips in it. But this jacket, it just like keeps me so much warmer than just wearing like a hoodie. If I wore a t-shirt, a hoodie, and a jacket, I'm maybe okay. But having this mid-layer jacket to go on underneath my shell just keeps me so much warmer. So if you have any issues with being cold on the mountain, I highly recommend getting a mid-layer jacket. It can really help, and it also shrinks up well too for like stuffing into your backpack after. All right, I got something down here. that I wanted to share with you guys. This is something I started using a lot recently again too. Something that I think I take for granted sometimes is my boot dryer and glove dryer. So today in Whistler, I was up there. It was wet. It was a bit heavy snow, and so when I came down, I got my boots onto my boot dryer and the mitts as well, and this just like helped to dry everything out. Having wet mitts or boots the next day is just like the worst thing. So I got this on Amazon for like $60, and it's totally saved my life. I've had it for like 3 years. It's dried my boots and my mitts out probably 1,000 times. So yeah, really, really critical piece. Before we go on, let's check in with the comments and let's see who's on. Maybe give a few people some shout outs. Shout out to Trent. Thanks for tuning in, man. Connor Vale, David Hong, Jennifer Woyen, Seth Peterson. Thank you guys all for tuning in. John Silvers. And Yes is asking how are the lift lines in Whistler. Today, I think first thing in the morning, it was like some long lines, but then once everyone got up, it was pretty smooth. Everyone was trying to get up early because we were thinking that we got snow, but we actually got rain. So it wasn't that great of a day. But yeah, shout out to you guys. Thanks for tuning in. And yeah, let's keep this rolling. If I forget anything too, if you guys think of something that's really critical for snowboarding that I forget, it'd be great to hear from you guys in the live chat. Yeah, always awesome to hear from you guys. So what's up next? So just on like a backcountry safety note, one thing that's really critical is having a beacon. So this is my beacon. This one is actually kind of controversial, I guess. It's a Peeps beacon. I think they may be recalling these, but this is like really important if you go into an area where there may be avalanches or just the risk of an avalanche. Having this can save your life. So for me, a couple of days ago, we went out of bounds up on Black Hill Mountain, and we had our beacons with us, and we actually did some practice burying these and then finding them, kind of like being in an avalanche situation. So these are critical if you're going out with a crew of friends. It's always better to be safe. You can take an avalanche course, but the beacon is really, really critical to save your life. So beacon, and then to go with the beacon is a shovel and a probe. And then so you need the shovel obviously for digging, but the probe for probing into the snow for when you're finding your friends. So really important things to have on a day in the backcountry or side country. It's funny, I've got all my snowboard accessories here, but some of the ones I've talked about before, I'm just gonna put to the side and talk to you guys about some of the ones that maybe I haven't spent a ton of time talking about. But the probe comes in this sleeve that goes into your backpack, and it slides out, and you actually like throw this out, and it comes out into like a big long stick that you can probe with. And the shovel, show you guys a shovel. You guys have probably seen a shovel before, but yeah, this is a piece of the shovel, and then there's another piece that slides into here. There it is. And then yeah, you get this into your backpack, and then if there's any emergencies, you can like just get it out, assemble it, and then start digging. But yeah, the best thing to do is if you're interested in backcountry riding, to take an avalanche course. And then to go along with hiking with snowboarding, like for me, I love to do hikes because, you know, even if you're on the resort, sometimes there's areas that you can get to that are inbounds, that are like a short hike. Sometimes they're a long hike, especially early in the season. Sometimes there's some areas where the chairlift isn't running, but you're allowed to hike into. And then also late in the season where you can do some hikes up into some mountains. And one thing I've discovered that like actually just like saves your legs is to hike with poles. So it's kind of a weird thing to have poles as a snowboard accessory, but having these for doing like really long hikes just like helps like take some of the work off of your legs and then put it into your arms. So for me, like the biggest hike I did last year was in Japan to the top of this volcano called Mount Yote, and it was like a 5-hour hike. And then when I got to the top, my legs were just exhausted. I can't remember if I actually used poles that day. Maybe I did. But without the poles, I don't think I would have made it to the top. So having poles to take some of that work out of your legs and then transfer it into your arms is huge. And they also just like help you to stay stable while you're walking through the snow. So if you're interested in doing any snowboard hikes, I highly recommend picking up a set of poles. One thing just to mention, I think like most people nowadays, everyone pretty much does this, but snowboard helmet, I think everyone, when I'm snowboarding, I think I see everyone wearing a helmet out there, and it just protects your brain. And I think it actually gives you more confidence for riding as well, to be out on the mountains snowboarding and having a helmet on. Let's go back to the comments for a second again and see if anyone is commenting. SSTK saying, is a Super DOA good for carving? Yeah, I was actually had it up today, the Super DOA, and it's really fun to carve. It's like got some good stiffness to it, the lengthwise and also torsionally. So as you're carving, you feel like you can really set a good edge and it holds and you're just like in control. So yeah, it carves really well. All right, and shout out to the moderators on the chat as well. Shout out to Jose Bortisa, man. Thanks for being a moderator. I think there's a few more on here. I haven't seen them. Shout out to Jack McConnell. Thanks for tuning in, man. And awesome. Russ says, do you recommend avalanche gear for Japan, Japao, or not really required? I think I would recommend it. It's good to have because there's a lot of areas where you can like go out of bounds that are like gates, and they're meant to be safe, but it's always good to like have that backup as well. If you're riding in the resort, I don't think you need avalanche gear because inside the resort, the like safety patrol and everyone is keeping it safe. But if you're venturing outside of the resort at all, I think it's definitely a good idea. And like it's good to have your own stuff too, because then you can train with it and test with it. And yeah, it's good to have your own gear. One thing, I've probably mentioned this before. This is something I didn't have when I first started snowboarding, and it kind of got me into some trouble, but a waxing iron. There's so many times where I'll be planning to snowboard the next day, and I'll realize that I haven't waxed my board in like 5 or 6 days, and that it's dry and slow. And so to save yourself from, missing a good powder day or getting up there and having your board stick to the snow is having your own waxing iron, something that you can just get out and then quickly wax your board with. So for a waxing iron, I've had this one for over 10 years now, and I think it was around like $50 or $60. So something that you can get that will last you however long, 10 plus years, and it can save you like so many days of snowboarding to have like fresh wax on your board. And it also protects your board and then keeps your board living longer too. So waxing iron, and if you get a kit, you can get some wax with it, a scraper, a brush, all the things you need for waxing your board. And one more, I think this could be 10. I think this is 10 things. But something I bring up with me every day, which could save your day of snowboarding or somebody else's, is a snowboard tool. So I've been riding with a tool in my pocket or in my backpack for years and years, just because the numbers of times that I've had a loose binding or a friend's had a loose binding, or even a stranger that you can help out, it always comes in handy to have a snowboard tool with you. So something that, if one person in your group has it, then you'll be safe. And if you're that one person, that's kind of a nice thing. So yeah, these are actually kind of more expensive than they look too. But this one I think is like $15 or $20. But you can get cheaper ones out there. You don't need anything fancy. Just get like the basic snowboard tool, and that'll have you covered. But yeah, I think that's about it. I think I shared 10. If anyone knows the count, let me know. But yeah, I just wanted to share with you guys some of the snowboard accessories, some of the things that I use day to day that keep me on the mountain and keep me happy. So I hope if you guys are missing any of that stuff, that's helped you out. If you're watching this back, leave a comment below. I've also linked most of this gear too in the description if you want to check out this gear and learn some more about it. But let's get to some questions. If you guys have any questions about this gear or snowboard accessories in general, we'll just check out the live comments here. Connor Vale says, what Volcom mitts do you use? Yeah, recently I just picked up a new pair of mitts actually. So I've got my old mitts, the crab grab mitts, which I'll still probably use as well. But I recently picked up these ones. So I can't remember what these ones are called actually. They are Volcom. It doesn't say, but I'll figure it out. But yeah, these ones are pretty cool. They're a pretty light mitt. I'd say light to mid-weight. And they just have this crazy grippy palm. So for riding in the park, I'm pretty stoked to have like a really grippy palm like this for going for grabs. And they also have some like suede on the thumb. So for me, this is really critical for wiping the camera lens. But if you're wiping like snow off your goggles, to have this like suede thumb is really important. So, and then they also have a really good wrist strap. So if you need to strap these to your wrist, this is really good. Nadim is saying that they're the Volcom X mitts. Awesome. Thank you for that. Peyton says, what is the best gadget to bring with you on the mountain? Yeah, I think like, I don't know which one is the very best, but the one that I use is, I think this is called the Burton bullet tool. So it has, yeah, it's just kind of got this thing going on for it. You can kind of swap out this, and I think there's a few more little tools that come inside. So like an Allen key kind of thing in there for your bindings, and there's a Phillips head screwdriver too in there somewhere. So yeah, you get like a few different tools in this one, and yeah, it works. This one, I have two of these because I forgot one day, and I really needed a tool, and so I had to buy a second one. Goofy31 says, cylindrical or spherical goggles. So yeah, if you guys don't know, so these are my goggles here, the Anon M4s, and these ones are cylindrical. So it's like a pop can. So they're curved just in one way. And then the spherical goggles are the ones that are more like a bubble. I prefer the spherical just because, the cylindrical, just because I find that they sit, at least these ones, sit closer to my face, so that as I'm snowboarding, the lens of the goggle is closer like to my eyes, which just makes it feel like I'm not looking down through a tunnel. And with some of the spherical lenses, I feel like they bubble out too far, and you can kind of like, it's almost like you can see the lens like you're looking at it. So I like this one, it's close to my face, and it just has like a cool style to it, I think. So yeah, I like cylindrical, the last few pairs, the Anon M4s, and also before this, I rode the Oakley Line Miners. And yeah, I think the cylindrical for me is the way to go. All right. I'll stack here with the classic question, rocker or camber. For me, I think camber, man. I've been really liking some camber boards. Even with my powder boards recently, I've gone full camber. So camber in the powder as well. And yeah, I feel like a camber board just makes it a little bit more, your board feel a bit more responsive and gives you that more like stable feeling. Excuse me. Jeffrey Kennedy with the super chat. Thanks for the support, man. The 199 super chat. Awesome. Thanks, Jeffrey. Nadim says, how much should I invest in snow pants? So the price of the pants usually goes up based on the material. And so the more expensive the pants, then usually the more durable and also the more waterproof the material is. So it kind of depends on where you live. So if you live someplace where it's cold and you don't need to have like the most waterproof outerwear or pants, then you can actually get away with buying less expensive snowboard pants, like around like 150. But if you live someplace like here in Whistler, it can get pretty wet. So here, like having Gore-Tex pants can really save your day. And that's when it starts to get more expensive. So $200 or $300 plus. So I would just kind of obviously like go with what is in your budget, but try to think about like, what do you need? Like what type of material do you need on the mountain? Michael says, how should your boots fit? Should they be tight on your foot? Yeah, they should be like, I would say snug. Like having your foot in your boot, it should feel very snug. So like for me, I do my snowboard shoe size is my snowboard boot size, but you could also, it kind of depends. It gets a little bit different based on the brand. So you could try like a half a size smaller. But in the store, like for me, yesterday I was trying on some boots and I had them on my feet for like a half an hour at least, just to make sure that there's no weird pressure points, there's no pain, my toes aren't like starting to fall asleep. And so if you do all those things, I think you can find like a pair of boots that are snug, that feel like they're like kind of holding on to your foot, but not giving you like any foot pain. So yeah, you want that a nice snug feel. Evan Block with the super chat. Thanks, Evan, man, for the support. Says, when are you coming to Colorado? TJ here, surprised you're not with him. Yeah, I know, man. I would be in Colorado. Like, I probably would have already been there, but the whole thing with like the border being closed has just kept me and TJ apart. So yeah, TJ is in the US, I'm in Canada, and the border issue kind of sucks. So that's why, yeah. But yeah, I've been checking out TJ's videos in Colorado, and he looks like he's having an awesome time. Seth says, how do you prevent your gloves from getting ripped on the tow rope? Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, tow ropes are tricky because they do rip up your mitts for sure. I would say like when you are buying your mitts, try to get a pair that have like something like this, like a really durable palm to them. Because yeah, if you have like a palm on your mitt on a tow rope, like for me, the last time I was on a tow rope was in Mount Hood, Oregon, at the High Cascade snowboard camp. And yeah, the tow rope there, like you grab onto it, and if you don't have the right mitts or like maybe the right technique for the tow rope, they can definitely rip up your mitts. So I don't know, man, that's a tough one. I know that they definitely rip it up. All right, a few more shout outs. Shout out to Seth, Jacob, Zach, Jackie. Thank you guys for hopping onto the chat. 250, almost 250 people watching and 95 likes. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Bryson says, do you prefer the channel system or non? So the channel system is like the Burton EST channel systems. So it's like instead of having the holes that you screw your bindings into, it's like a channel in the middle of the board. And for me, yeah, I just prefer the traditional like hole, like the screw with the hole style boards. And for me, like the channel system, sometimes the bindings would actually move on me. And I rode the Burton boards for years and years, and it would happen from time to time. And after like a while, I just kind of got tired of always having to go in and tighten my bindings, and I just went back to like the traditional like four hole disc style bindings with the board. So yeah, for me, I prefer non-channel. Jackie says, did Union actually fix the problem with bindings getting loose? Yeah, they did. For me, like the last couple of years, actually, I haven't noticed my bindings getting loose. But I know at one point there were some models where the screws would kind of get loose, and yeah, I think they've fixed that problem a few years ago. Because yeah, it's been all good recently. Kutia says, do you suggest the step-on stuff? I don't suggest it unless your priority is getting quickly in and out of your bindings, because there are some trade-offs. I think you have less boots to choose from, and also I think your performance kind of suffers a bit. So yeah, but if your priority is getting in and out of your bindings quickly, then the step-ons could be for you. Marvin says, K2 bindings. Any tips for a noob riding camber? Nice, man. So I think you'll do fine with the camber. Like as long as the board isn't like overly stiff and like has too much camber. Back, maybe 10 years ago and earlier, all snowboards were camber. So every beginner, every intermediate, everyone learning was all on camber boards. And it's only been in the last just over 10 years that they started coming out with rocker boards and all the different hybrid boards. So yeah, I think you'll be good. Just be aware of your edges. If you've had a rocker board before, just be aware that it's not going to be as like quick to turn. It may just take a little bit more effort, and your edges are there. So just be aware of them. But you're going to feel that you can control your speed, and you're riding a bit more. So yeah, some good trade-offs there. And I haven't ridden K2 bindings before, so I don't know what to say, but hopefully I'll get to try them out this winter. Joril says, quick question on sizing for the bent metal transfer bindings. I'm a men's size 11 boot. The bindings size chart says that the medium bindings fit size 8 to 11, while the large bindings fit size 11 to 14. Oh, that's like, that's a tricky one. I would probably, oh man, I don't want to give you the, like for me, I always try and fit. So I have size 10 boots and I fit into mediums like totally fine. Yeah, I would probably go for the large because you're like right at the top. So you don't want to be too snug in there. So I think if I had size 11 boots, I'd probably go for the large. Yeah, it's always tough when you're right on the rope there, when you're right on the fence. But I wouldn't try to like squeeze my boot into a medium, or would I? Damn it. I wish I could give you like a definitive answer, but it's a tough one. You could always get the mediums, and then if you don't like them or if they're too small, you have a good reason to return them because it says 8 to 11, and you could just say they don't fit. Yeah, I would go with the medium. If it says 8 to 11, go with the medium, man. Okay. Cool. Let's do a few more questions here, guys. Big shout out to everyone for tuning in. If you guys haven't yet, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to get notified every time I do one of these spontaneous live videos. And yeah, if you haven't yet, hit the like button. And if you're curious about any of this gear too, I've got most of it or some of it linked in the description if you want to check it out. Avery Mack saying boa or laces. I'm more into the laces for sure. Laces 100%. Roberto says, how do you do your black and gold Adidas Samba snowboard boots 2020 fit? I usually wear 10s, but occasionally my dad 10.5s, which are uncomfortable big. All they got online are 9.5 and 10.5. Might get 9.5. Yeah, I would say that if you are a 10, then you don't want to go a half a size up. I would go a half a size down for sure. Yeah, go do the half a size down, and then because you don't want them to be too big. And I think that half a size should be okay. So yeah, if you're normally a size 10 in shoes, I think 9.5. That's kind of that's a pretty common thing in snowboard boots, is to go down a half a size. I think you should be fine. If you get them and they're giving you like any like really bad pain around your toes, then you may have to like send them back before wearing them on the mountain. Goofy31 wants to know line minor or N on M4. Oh man, I don't know. It's tough. I think if you have a smaller head than the line minors, but if you have a really big head, then the M4s, because the M4s are huge. They're super big. Gabriel says, tips for a noob trying to backflip. If you're trying to your first backflip, make sure you can get it on a trampoline first. So go to a trampoline place, get some backflips on a trampoline, get a bunch of tricks on your snowboard first. And then when you do attempt your first backflip, make sure you have all that stuff down, and then try it on like a day when the snow is really good. And maybe when you have like somebody who can already do one, giving you advice too, like right there in person. But check out the channel too. There's a few videos on how to backflip on the channel too. El Stacker Adventures on here. What's up, man? Thanks for helping out being a moderator. El Stacker has been crushing it down in Boise, Idaho as well. Yeah, would love to get down to Boise at some point to snowboard. Sam says, blackstrap balaclava. Yeah, I love the blackstrap. This year I got an Oyuki balaclava, just because I find that the Oyuki is a little bit tighter, which I've been liking. But the blackstrap is really nice too. I may go back to the blackstrap. I'm not sure. All right. Oh, the shred ship with the super chat. Awesome. Thanks, man. Says, late night talk show with Kevin P. Better than Jimmy Fallon. Thanks, man. Be on the lookout for the mail, in the mail for a gator. Compliments of the shred ship. Stay safe, bro. Awesome, man. Thanks so much. Yeah, appreciate the support. Yeah, I'll be looking for it. Yeah, awesome. I'll let you know when I get the new beanies in as well, and we'll have to send out a beanie to you. But yeah, I really appreciate it. I've been checking out your Instagram posts as well. Look like you're having some fun in the gym, man. Keep it up. All that's going to be great for snowboard season. All right. Ethan says Adidas or Vans boots. I love them both, but at the moment, leaning towards Adidas. Been really loving the Adidas snowboard boots. And shout out to the guys at the Circle, Steve and John. Yesterday, they hooked me up with a pair of Adidas boots from the Circle here in Whistler. So if you guys come to Whistler and you need some snowboard gear, definitely go talk to the guys down at the Circle on Main Street, and they'll get you guys sorted out with gear. It's an awesome shop. Gabriel says, what kind of music do you listen to? Mostly, I listen to kind of everything, but recently I've been listening to Kanye West, Action Bronson, and the Smashing Pumpkins. So those three artists randomly at the moment. Sweet guys, so I'm gonna hop off the live chat there, but thank you guys all for coming in and hanging out for a bit. I hope I answered some of your questions and gave you guys some good advice for snowboard accessories. If you guys are watching this back and you have any questions, just hit me up in the comment area. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming for hanging out, And again, if you haven't yet, subscribe and hit the notification because yeah, doing these sporadic live chats with you guys is super fun. So yeah, thank you guys. I hope you're having a good start to your snowboard season. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video soon. Awesome. See you guys.